Good. Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our seminar today. Today is seminar is basically on Racepak the basics. My name is Donny Cummins, and I'm going to be here helping you along today. And any questions you have, want to ask me, feel free to do so. Don't feel like it's a dumb question. I'm here for you guys. Basically, the seminar, in a nutshell, is just about some of the basic questions I'm always asked. I get the phone calls daily on, and I'm at the racetrack, and everyone's asking me, show me again how to download. How do I stream the data live to my laptop? Or how do I read in a new sensor? Just the basics, and this is what this seminar is going to cover today. So basically, I've worked at Racepak for about 12 years. Started in sales and tech, and basically worked my way up, and now I handle all the top fuel systems for top fuel, funny car, top alcohol, and all those things. I've worked on tractor pulls to land speed cars to drag race vehicles, and been at the racetrack for many years, helping you guys. And so I thought I'd give a little bit back to you guys here today and kind of help you along. A little bit about my history. I grew up in a racing family, and my main passion is land speed racing. I run at the Bonneville Salt Flats. That 34 Roadster right there is some partners on that car, and we went 300 miles an hour using Racepak, of course. I'm also heavily involved in drag racing with the nostalgia funny car stuff that I do. And then right now I'm personally building a new land speed car at the lower left corner there, hoping to do 350 miles an hour with that vehicle right there. So a little brief history about Racepak. There's two gentlemen in the mid-'80s, Ron Armstrong and Spencer Eisenbarth, that developed the company. And it started out putting data loggers in hydroplane. And then as we progressed, it found its way into drag racing. And then from there, we worked with the AA, the late Dale Armstrong, and helped us develop the drag race systems. As the years progressed, we ended up going to different forms of motorsports between road racing, tractor pulling, land speed racing, so forth and so on. Racepak was probably one of the first companies in the industry to introduce CANbus to data logging into motorsports. And what that is instead of having a cable for every sensor running back to the data logger, creating a rat nest of wiring, we're able to do all your sensor cables into one cable going back to the data logger. I'm going to explain this a little further, what this technology is that is in every one of our Racepaks to this day. So real quick, I'm going to cover the different basic loggers that we offer you guys. Our first one is our entry level. This was typically a drag race unit right here. All of our loggers, for the most part in the drag race world, comes with engine, drive shaft, G-meter, and voltage is your basic starting point. Then from there we add on to meet your application, adding a sensor that's more acceptable for your application. So this is a sportsman unit. This is our entry level. You find this on Super Gas, Super Comp, you know, some of your bracket cars like that. The V300 SD data loggers are kind of our main drag race data logger. This guy is found in Pro Mod to Comp to even Super Comp and Super Gas, depending on if you want to do a lot of data logging. This is also found in tractor pulling to land speed cars to off-road, excuse me, not off-road, but some hydroplane stuff. This guy right here, again, same basic setup, engine, drive shaft, G-meter, and voltage. This right here is our little bit more advanced data logger. This is called the V500 SD. This unit right here does everything that the previous units does, but has a little bit more expansion on the high-speed side. It also allows you to incorporate and log many of your smart wire channels if you're doing our wiring solutions. And this one is one of the only loggers that we have that will look at your individual cylinder timing going down the track. So if you're changing timing during a run in each individual cylinder, we can record it with this Racepak to make sure that's actually happening. Now these are some of the units that we use in your top alcohol and funny car applications. These have high-end connectors that take the vibration, tire shake. This is called your Pro 3A. This is what you'll find like Frank Manzo's car that he used many years ago, or you know, Johnny Lindbergh and stuff like that. And this unit right here is called a Pro 3 data logger. This unit right here is basically what we run in every top fuel and funny car to this day. This again has all the upgraded connectors, Autosport connectors. It actually looks at your current of the magneto, basically the spark energy going to the spark plug. So we can actually monitor all that to this day. And every time, you know, a guy, say a customer goes out and drops a cylinder, they're immediately going to check their spark current, make sure it was an ignition failure, and they'll be able to tell if it was a tune-up or ignition failure just by monitoring that. Our G2X data logger is our GPS-based data logger. Racepak was actually one of the first companies in the industry to come to the market with GPS built into their loggers. This many, many years ago. So this one right here is GPS based. We look at engine RPM and we can add up some extra channels to that. This is also found in road race, circle track applications, circle boat applications, and then some land speed applications. This unit right here is the G2X Pro logger. This is the typical logger we'll use on like a 5-engine tractor puller, road race application that requires some high-speed sample ports, points, and then it can do basically the high-speed ports for like suspension travel, ride heights, pitch, roll, all that for your road race type application. All again GPS based, so it'll give you lap times, lap numbers, GPS speed. The IQ3 dash here comes in many different models. This model right here is basically that red G2X box rolled into the dash display. It has GPS base, again could be used on the road race application, give you lap times, lap numbers, very, very popular in the tractor pulling application, land speed application, and basically track times, lap time numbers, and add additional sensors that you choose. So the instrumentations that we have with our main data loggers are the IQ3 display and the UDX display. The UDX display basically and the IQ3 allows you to stream to your dash there any of the sensors that the logger is monitoring. So we do this by the CANbus, so one cable. So out of the data logger system, you're going to run one cable to the back of this dash and it'll stream all your data, power it with one cable. So instead of having 5 or 6 gauges on your dash, we can do all this with one cable. This eliminates all the wiring and the hassle of all this. Really streamlines it, makes a nice installation. Fully programmable. You can go in and program each display the way you want it. Each dash has the ability to program 4 different pages in there. What I talked about earlier is our smart wire application. Now the smart wire basically is a wiring solution for your vehicle. We take all your fuses and relays and take that out of the car and we bundle it and put it into the unit right there at the top right. That unit right there can handle up to 125 amps, fully programmable. We have 20 amp outputs and 10 amp outputs. Basically you're going to run the battery cable to the post right there, and then there's 2 connectors that are coming out of there that's going to go right to your device. For example, a fan, a fuel pump, and you're eliminating all that wire, and that unit right there will control all the fuses and relays. It also can be integrated to any one of majority of our data logging systems, so you can actually data log when the current of each device when things are coming on and off in the vehicle. So today, basically, I just want to cover some of the basics, like I talked about earlier. How to read and write, adding in new sensors, programming dash displays, and set up real-time telemetry, downloading a run, setting time and date, setting the 0 point on the graph, which is important, and what the toolbars do. And I want to cover also anything that you guys have a question about. Just show of hands real quick. How many of you already have a Racepak? I mean, there's got to be a lot of you, right? Okay, good. Are we V300 sportsmen's in the crowd here? Any of those? Okay, good. Any IQ3 loggers? Okay, good. So at any time you have a question, please ask me. There's no dumb question. I'm here to help you guys. And the question you may ask may help somebody else too. So one of the very first things I always get is they open their box and they get this USB memory stick. So this USB memory stick right here in every one of your new systems contains the software to load it and information regarding your data logger to set it up. So one of the things you'll notice when you first plug it in, and some of this may be repetitive to a lot of you guys who already know this. Is this is what you're going to get when you open it up. So for the brand new users, being a sportsman or a V300 guy, all you got to do is there's instruction sheets that come with this, but this is the program. You're going to run the program and install the program into your system, and then it's going to ask you what product you have. Based on the product, then basically you would move forward and select the product and install that into your application.
Donny, are there any Microsoft operating systems that software is not compatible with yet?
Anything older than Windows XP will not work. We highly recommend that it's got to be Windows XP or newer, so Windows 7, Windows 10, completely compatible with. So that'll be just fine, anything Windows XP or newer. So basically, open up the program after it's installed. And if you have a V300 or a unit that comes with a licensing disk or a unit that is serialized, you have to first initially read in your licensing disk. Again, this is all in a step-by-step card that we're going to give you, but I just want to cover it with you today. So essentially what you would do is click on Security and read license disk. Check all the boxes here. Again, this is all covered in instruction, and hit OK. It's going to ask you, what do you want to copy it from? If you don't know, leave it on Search All, or if you knew the drive letter, select it. In this case, I'll just hit OK, and it's essentially done. So now I've effectively just installed this data logger's information from the memory stick onto my computer. Now I can go and play. Now I can go add sensors if I want to, or actually start a recording, take a download, anything like that. So today's examples, everything I'm going to be using will be with this V300 SD. If you have a sportsman or a V300 SD or an IQ3, majority of the download steps, anything like that, will be the same as what I'm giving you an example with the V300 here today. So the very first thing is I'm going to show you real quick is probably the number one question I've been getting lately. And let's do this. After you first install it, how do I get to the setup file to add some sensors? So the number one thing you do is click on File, and you can select Open Car Configuration. This will access the settings of my data logger, being a G2X, an IQ3, a V300, or Sportsman. This is the same step to access your file that contains all the settings for your data logger. So again, if you click on File and you select Open Car Configuration, you're going to get a window like this. Now I have many different configs installed in my computer here. I help a lot of the guys out across the country. So everything on my left-hand side of this screen here, you'll notice is all the different configurations I have. So the one here today we're using is a V300 and its serial number is 1234. So if I click on this on my left-hand side, you'll see on my right-hand side, that's the configuration file I'm selecting to open up to do my setup here with today. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And then right here is the basic configuration file for this V300. Now this V300, basically, from the factory, it's already pre-enabled, just same thing like with Sportsman or IQ3, with the basics already set up for you. Engine RPM is already set up, drive shafts already set up, ready to go. But there is going to be some times where you need to add a new sensor. Excuse me, one sec.